Well, hi. Today's vlog is presented as kind of a podcast. I record on my PS4, and when I went to copy my video file onto my USB stick, my fingers, fumbly finger sausages, went and accidentally deleted the video file. I still have the audio file, so I'm going to have some background stuff playing as I talk, but there's no me in the video. So thank you. I hope you listen. You take care, and thank you again.
I can think and I'm feeling fine.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It is, of course, gray and diffuse light outside. It's been cold at night, but we're supposed to get into the 80s again today. And then again, cold at night. But oh boy, isn't it wonderful having near 80-degree temperatures this close to October. Thumbs up. This is still going to be one of the coolest summers we have, so yay. Past that though, I mean, survival is good, and I have been surviving. I have been sleeping a little bit at least. Have to keep it cool. Just been using a bath towel as a blanket, and that's usually more than enough, so thumbs up on that. And of course, front-loading of videos. If you like what you hear and see, if you could toss me a like, that'd be cool. And if you like what you hear and see, if you could subscribe to the channel and you haven't yet, that would be cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome. Without their help, I and my pets would be hosed like literal Christmas monkeys. And trust me, being hosed like a Christmas monkey is not the way you want to be hosed. So thank you, each and every one of these people. And if you would like to help me and my pets survive, I have links to my Patreon in the video description below. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there are links to a PayPal if you'd like to make a donation. And if you'd like to help me out without doing anything financial, there's an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food on it. If you could check that out, that would be cool too. I also have a post office box if you'd like to send me anything at all, postcards, keychains, whatever. I will open them up in video and we will marvel at them. Thank you very, very much. So, front-loading of videos over. Yay! I keep trying to keep that short, but also say important things. I need to make it shorter. Still, though, it is a brand new day, and there are some things that I do want to talk about. I feel slightly better, more energy than I did yesterday, but part of that, of course, is because I'm on 150 milligrams of extended-release Wabwino. I do get a lot of energy, usually, not every day, but usually I get a burst of energy when I take my antidepressant, the Wabwino. It does slow down my time blindness some. I'm hoping that it's going to be able to help further with the concentration and focusing and all that. That would be good. But there are a lot of things that I do want to talk about, and some of them are, I have mentioned that I've been playing and trying to play and downloading and reading because I almost enjoy reading the rules of games more than I like playing the game. I read and reread like the D100 dungeon rules all the time, and I get as much pleasure out of that as I do out of playing it. So I enjoy reading and collecting and doing that sort of stuff. And I've mentioned how there's one game that's called Note Quest. And it's simple and basic. And if you pay $2, it gives you the expanded world rules that puts an entire world, makes it into an actual solo RPG instead of just a solo dungeon crawl. The thing is, whether you're playing basic or expanded, combat sucks. I mean, it is extremely arcadey. You as your character do a die roll of damage plus modifiers. When you come up against the monster in a room, it does a set amount of damage. When you attack the monster, you roll for your damage and then it does that. So if it does 5 points of damage, You rolling your die might do, oh, I rolled a 1, that's no damage. Oh, I rolled a 2, that's 1 point of damage. Oh, I rolled another 1. Whereas it's doing 5, 5, 5 against you. And that's way too simplistic, because it's just you attack and then it attacks, and then you attack and then it attacks. You're not attacking to see if you hit, you're attacking to do the damage and see who goes to 0 first. Way too arcadey and simplistic for me. That is the one thing that I've really disliked about the game. I looked up homebrew rules to see if anybody else was bothered by this, and I have downloaded like a 3-page set of like 10 lines on a page of homebrew rules for initiative, for you and the monster, for how it rolls to hit you, and the amount of damage that it does when it rolls its damage die. So it's more like actual combat like you're doing, instead of just wham, 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 wham with those 5 points. And if you've only got 18 hit points, you're gone. So that part is awesome, and I'm going to be trying that out. I'm going to finish my first adventure, because I haven't been able to yet, yay executive dysfunction, using the regular rules, and then I'm going to do the homebrew rules, and I think I'm really going to be using the homebrew rules for the combat stuff. The rest of the room generation and the dungeon generation and all that stuff is awesome. I mean, even the world generation, as simplistic as it is good, because relative to its rule set, it's perfect. So thumbs up for that. And of course, there are lots of people online doing other videos. There's one that I'm trying to work my way through, because it's an hour-long video, and with my ADHD, that's hard. But there are a set of pencil and paper tabletop role-playing game rules that are really slimmed down and basic for not solo play, but it's called Roguelands. I believe it's free. Yeah, it's free to play. You can just download it. 36 pages, very dense, very simplistic, old school Renaissance type rules, not modern role-playing rules where they have systems and such for everything, but more you have like one skill check for a lot of things, and you use that skill check for everything, and if you're not paying attention, something's gonna kill you. They were very, very devilish and fiendish with old school, because they left a lot of it up to you. But this person, the way the rules are set up, really likes that, and I am watching to figure out and see how they use that for their solo play, because if I can add that into my collection and play it, that would be awesome, because that's the thing. D100 Dungeon is awesome, but it only scratches that kind of niche. Note Quest, roughly the same thing, but it's a different feel entirely, because it's themed and because it's more simple. It has a much, much different feel and flavor. And Roguelands would have another different feel and flavor. For Against the Darkness, something that I want to try and buy later on, that has a different feel and flavor. So just because you have one doesn't mean you need to be happy with that. If you can download the others, because most of them are free, then hey, thumbs up for that. Now, there is some other things that I do want to talk about real quick, because it has to do with my creative setting and some other stuff, and the way things are in the world setting and how things are working together. And that sounds really bizarre, but since I've decided that my Cryptid part has become big enough, it has to become a separate project. The timeline in the first Razor's Edge, its slice of life narrative that takes place over a year, starts at a really quick first chapter showing just slices of life normally in the Razor's Edge. You know, there's good and there's bad. And then chapter 2, where everything goes to hell because the kaiju is rampaging and it eats somewhere between 12 and 13,000 people in Apple Rock. And since Apple Rock only has 25,000 people in the city itself and about 5,000 others that live in little support places outside of the city limits, that's half the people of the entire place gone. It is a horrific rampage. And then the rest of the story is how people deal with it and how, even in the midst of disaster, life goes on. But also, the people that actually live in Apple Rock, because they are with the kaiju, the chained and fallen god of dark malevolence and death, it is able to play such games with them. Because its digestion is so complete and total under its control, when it is done with human beings, the only waste product of the digesting us is an odorless and colorless gas given off. And it has been able to tweak its digestion in such that this gas breaks down into compounds, and everyone that lives in Apple Rock is drugged to the gills by this compound. And it's in such a way that nobody even knows, because you don't feel just the normal things you would feel. These affect your neural pathways and such that when you see the scenes of violence and terror, you feel community. Not because of that, but because of the survivors. When you see the survivor of Apple Rock, because your neural pathways have been changed by the compounds in this gas, you feel this intense sense of community. They are family. They went through this horrible thing with you. It doesn't matter if you've never seen them before. They are in Apple Rock. They are a member of your family. And these people feel that so intensely because they are just drugged to the gills with these compounds. It doesn't affect, it does affect their thinking, but it doesn't affect their thinking in any negative fashion. Like, they can drive, they can do business, but everything about Apple Rock is twisted through their altered neural pathways. Nobody wants to move out of Apple Rock. Well, some do, because this all being genetic, how it affects you, of course, your mileage may vary. There are some people that are so affected by these compounds that even the thought of leaving Apple Rock, even after the kaiju's eaten almost 13,000 people, your family and friends and acquaintances, even the thought of leaving Apple Rock gives panic attacks. And then there are the people like Trevor Savick, who has his third eye opened, and so his cryptid vision is pretty strong. And he, when he comes to the outside, where we are, spends most of his time with the cryptids in Brookerton, South Carolina, because it is dangerous enough that it feels like home. 2 months into the cryptid part of the story is when the kaiju rampages. Now, before this happens, even on the inside, even on the razor, well, especially on the razor's edge, everybody on the razor's edge feels this, and even some people on the outside where we are feel this incredible pressure. It is just a pressure that you cannot even identify. Everybody is feeling it. It is crushing. People are getting migraines, constant headaches from this building pressure. Even on the inside, far away from the razor's edge, in the Crimson Kingdom, in the Pale Domain, they are feeling this pressure. On the outside, those people with the sight, they feel this. It's strong enough that even the higher power cryptids feel this pressure. And Trevor Savick, who has a business in Apple Rock and so spends a lot of time in Apple Rock, but also travels to the inside, travels around Apple Rock travels around the razor's edge, and is trying to expand his business to the outside, so he spends time out here. So he's not massively affected by these compounds, even though he has his business and spends his time in Apple Rock. He was born in Tenasket Valley, where they have the radio station WKNLV, and it's right next to the abandoned Dairy Queen in Tenasket Valley. Yay, but we'll come back to that later. So he moved to Apple Rock with his business. He is affected by these gases as well. And so he feels all this community when he sees scenes of horrific violence. But he's not in Apple Rock when the kaiju rampages. And he, in fact, when it happens, does not go back to Apple Rock. He actually spends his time in the cryptid world dealing with this. So he's not getting the extra powerful compounds that the kaiju excretes for the 2 months following a rampage. But there are some things that even he is doing that once again shows the rest of the Razor's Edge, they feel that even as callous as we would find most people on the Razor's Edge towards death, because every day death is normalized for them. You can wander past and find on a normal day traveling on the Razor's Edge up to 20 half-eaten corpses and up to 20 just moistly decaying piles of human remains. It's normalized. And so we would look upon just the standard people of the Razor's Edge as callous towards death. They look upon the people of Apple Rock as callous about this. Because Trevor, just like a lot of people, even though it's been only about a week after the rampage when he's doing this, he has bought one of the ebooks that are produced and sold as souvenirs. There are security cameras all the way through the city that are not on the main electrical grid. So when the city starts blowing up and things aren't working right, some of these security cameras are taking video footage and still footage, and they are able to piece together almost a minute by minute video trail of the kaiju rampaging and eating for the 12 hours that it does so. And they take video and audio and just still clips, and they make a souvenir ebook of the rampage. So you can flick on your phone and then watch the kaiju just picking up handfuls of people, stuffing them into its mouth, chewing them into wads of sloppy ground meat, just swallowing that mouthful down and wadding in another handful of screaming people to continue doing the same. Most people are horrified by this, especially on the outside where he's showing the cryptids. On the Razor's Edge, it's still horror that they feel, just not as bad since death is more normalized there. You can even buy the older ebooks, and they go back like 6 rampages, and of course Trevor has them all. But just looking at the kaiju, even devouring handfuls of screaming human beings, because of the compounds, the people of Apple Rock collect these because they feel community, even towards those being eaten. And of course, I've opened out 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. There are never many, but thank you for everybody who leaves me any comments at all. It is greatly appreciated. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well. And of course, before that, if you have watched this far, thank you so very much. Nobody forces you to watch. I wouldn't force you even if I could. So if you have watched this far, it is because you wish to. Thank you so very, very much. It is greatly appreciated. Calling up my Chrome, we have Adrian FNTES. Oh God, those sewers. I was positive I was gonna die in the sewers there. When I was going like, oh my God, the sun, the wind on my face, I was honest about that. Holy smokes. And then we have Jesse Koskinen. Always good to see you in the comments, my friend. And I have never finished the Oblivion main quest, so I hope to this time. It would be nice. And good to see you again. JAYY, always good to see you in the comments. Thumbs up. And I had a day, definitely. It's Chris, thumbs up. Thank you very much and good to see you. D-Dub Gaming, greatly appreciated. I'm going to do my best. Thank you so very, very much. And then we have Unbearable Suffering. I always forget about magic in any of my games. It's rough having an out of sight, out of mind brain. But thank you very much for the reminder. Then we have Tommy Nelson, thumbs up and thank you. Loco5, greatly appreciated and thank you very much and good to see you. Ben B, thumbs up and thank you much. And that is it. 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up. As stated, you get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. If only for a short time and if only in text. But thumbs up and thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Well, hokey smokes, I actually called in a medication yesterday and I tried to do some other things, so I accomplished a little bit. I'm going to hopefully accomplish more today. If I can't, I'm not going to beat myself up. If you can't do what you would like to do, don't beat yourself up. It's not going to help you do it better next time. You're just punishing yourself for no reason. And with diseases raging around the world and pandemics still not over, please just be taking appropriate precautions for your location and situation. You don't need to get sick. I mean, seriously, you don't need to get sick. We're not just talking about the current pandemic. You don't want to get tuberculosis like I did. You don't want to get polio, which is coming back. Please just take appropriate precautions for your situation. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.